How what's up, y'all? It's poppin'. It's D. About to react to this vid by Spill Sesh. It's titled "Family Channels Are in Major Trouble." So I skimmed through this video, and apparently some laws are about to be passed in different states to where it's going to be illegal for these parents to showcase their children on their vlog channels, which I am in full support of. Protect the children. I think it's so sick how these families exploit the hell out of their children just for clicks and views. And some of them showcase their most intimate, private moments. Like my son just shitting on himself. Like, that's so embarrassing. Like, imagine his, classmates coming across that. Like, that is not right to do that to children. It's really fucked up. So I'm glad that, they are now taking action. Governments are taking action to prevent these sicko parents from doing what they do. Because I think it's really messed up. So let's see what she has to say in this video. Let's watch.
It looks like family channels and parent influencers have taken things a little too far, and it's caused some states to consider taking action to protect children from being taken advantage of by their parents for social media content.
And some of these bitches, when I say bitches, I mean the women and the men, the daddy and the mamas, they have kids just for attention, just for views, just so they can have a family channel. I'm about to get pregnant just so, we can make this money on YouTube or Instagram or whatever the fuck. That is so messed up. You're not having kids because you want a family. You're having kids because, family channels are killing right now. The Ace family, they making millions. Let's have a baby so we could get on that type of timing too. What?
Over the years, we've talked about tons of family channels that have been called out for filming their kids and making them the main focus of most of their content. And seeing these families start to upgrade their lifestyles as a result, from buying mansions and luxury cars to designer goods and things like that. These things have led viewers to question the ethics of the situation, and people have been left wondering if there would soon be some...
Not the Ace family, what's them niggas called? The Prince family, they probably, I don't know, maybe they exploit their children now, but they got real popular just exploiting themselves. So I'll give them a pass. But again, I don't know what they're doing right now, though.
Some sort of law or rule put in place by either platforms themselves or individual places to protect kids from being taken advantage of. People have talked about how unregulated it is to post videos and such with kids on social media.
This is child labor.
There's no telling if they're being overworked or if they're even being compensated for their time spent working. Because not all of the family channels are just like vlogging their everyday lives. Some people have their kids full on acting in skits for these videos, dancing, dressing up, all sorts of things like that. And when it comes to child actors, there are laws put in place for them that try and prevent parents from cashing in on the money that they've earned, as well as setting an amount of hours that children are even allowed to work on a set. But there has never been rules made for influencer parents until now.
Good.
And it seems that these parents have taken things just a little too far, and states are taking notice enough to make something happen. This week is the week things start to change, and I wonder if any of these parents are nervous about how it will be affecting their content going forward. But it was announced that Illinois would be the first state to pass a law that protects child influencers. It passed this week and it will go into effect in July of next year. But the law would ensure financial compensation for children influencers who are featured in monetized video content. And rumors are swirling that more states will soon follow in their footsteps regarding this kind of protection for children. The law specifically states, Section 2.6, minors featured in vlogs. A minor under the age of 16 is considered engaged in the work of vlogging when the following criteria are met at any time during the previous 12-month period. At least 30% of the vlogger's compensated video content produced within a 30-day period included the likeness, name, or photograph of the minor. Content percentage is measured by the percentage of time the likeness, name, or photograph of the minor visually appears or is the subject of an oral narrative in a video segment as compared to the total length of the segment, and the number of views received per video segment on any online platform met the online platform's threshold for the generation of compensation, or the vlogger received actual compensation for video content equal to or greater than 10 cents per view. All vloggers whose content features a minor under the age of 16 engaged in the work of vlogging shall maintain the following records and shall provide them to the minor on an ongoing basis.
Yes,
the
provide
name
to
of the
the minor.
documentary, proof of the age of the minor engaged in the work of vlogging, the number of vlogs that generated compensation as described in subsection A during the reporting period, the total number of minutes of the vlog that the vlogger received compensation for during the reporting period, the total number of minutes each minor was featured in vlogs during the reporting period, the total compensation generated from vlogs featuring a minor during the reporting period, and the amount deposited into the trust account for the benefit of the minor engaged in the working of vlogging as required by section 12.6. If a vlogger whose vlog content features minors under the age of 16 engaged in the work of vlogging fails to maintain the records as provided in subsection C, the minor may commence a civil action to enforce the provisions of this section. Minors engaged in the work of vlogging trust fund. A minor satisfying the criteria described in subsection of section 2.6 must be compensated by the vlogger. The vlogger must set aside gross earnings the content threshold described in section 2.6.
Yes. Okay, this is all like financial.
Segment,
which is
equally divided between the minors, regardless of differences in percentage of content provided by the individual minors. A trust account required under this section must be provided.
Bank. Okay, so it's forcing them to put money aside.
If a vlogger knowingly or
it says when they 18, what? If the minor attained the age of 18 until the minor is declared emancipate. Okay. If the vlogger violates this section, commits to action. Yes. Actual damages, punitive damages. Yes. Sue your parents. Sue their ass if they violate. But
I mean, reading this, it really does seem like it is for the best that something like this is happening to ensure that a child is going to receive proper compensation for being a part of their family's vlog and things like that.
Consent
because
needs
it's
to
been
also
so long
play a
now
part.
that people have just been so concerned about these kids being used for content. And obviously it seems that right now it's only really making sure that they're properly compensated and doesn't really give much more protection aside from that. Yeah. And we've seen those rules in Hollywood, and kids still come out and talk about growing up as a child star and the horrors of it all. But this is a step in the right direction. And I do think that as more kids who have grown up online speak out, this conversation will get louder and louder, causing other states to try and enforce some laws. Social media is still pretty new, and the kids.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is very new. So kids haven't really. It hasn't enough time hasn't passed yet for someone to be like, I'm grown and I was in vlogs, 10 years ago, and this has fucked up my mental health, and this embarrassed me in school, So it's really new.
On these family channels, some are
but I'm sure that's gonna come out,
moving out and starting to speak out and tell their stories. We've seen Sherry from 8 Passengers come out and talk about what it was like to grow up on a family vlog channel and how she thinks that chapter of her life is done. And we've also heard from children still part of these family channels anonymously come forward to share their stories about the fact that their parents have profited off of them and gone viral, and they have no say in whether they want to be in the spotlight or not, and they don't even know where that money is going. There was an article published earlier this year in Teen Vogue that was titled "Influencer Parents and the Kids Who Had Their Childhood Made into Content." And the article detailed Claire, a girl whose parents currently run a family channel. Her name has been changed for the article to protect her identity because she still lives at home with her parents, but she wants to speak out as soon as she can live on her own. Until then, she wanted to keep anonymous. And I shared this back at the time that this article came out, but essentially the article wrote, "Search Claire's name online, and this is some of what you will find. Photos of her as a child, merchandise with her face on it, available
merch,
and a YouTube channel with millions of subscribers and hundreds of videos featuring Claire and members of her family. In the video, Claire grows from a toddler to a teenager. On Instagram, fans comment they miss videos from the old days. In public, people sometimes recognize her and ask for photos. Although the family's YouTube channel has over 1 billion views, but if it were up to Claire, none of the videos would exist. The first time she went viral, she was a toddler. When the family's channel started raking in the views, Claire says both her parents left their job because the revenue from the YouTube channel was enough to support the family and to land them a nicer
bumming
house
off the baby.
That's not fair that I have to support everyone, she said.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to be resentful, but I kind of am. When she told her dad she didn't want to do YouTube videos anymore, and he told her that they would have to move out of their house and her parents would have to go back to work, leaving no money for nice things.
I'm like, what?
She also claimed she didn't even know how much money her parents had set aside for her to use in the future. And hopefully these unknowns can be prevented with more laws like this in the future, and more kids will be able to have money properly set aside for them if their parents are participating in this kind of content online. I mean, obviously, it doesn't protect them from their parents trying to be sneaky with it or some sort of loophole or something like that, but it's definitely a step, and maybe parents will even think twice about even wanting their kids to be in their content. Who knows? There's already been a number of influencers who have decided this year that they were going to stop sharing their kids online going forward because they just don't think it's a good idea anymore. So with laws like this, maybe even more kids will be safe online, because there's just such creepy people out there watching these types of
that
videos
part too.
a lot of the time, and
people beating off to your kids. That's disgusting.
There's a lot out there who feel like they know these kids. They're a family member when they're watching these videos. There's people that will even make fake accounts pretending to be the influencer kids' parents. Like, there was this one influencer who talked about how someone would take all of her Instagram photos of her babies and make like a new Instagram for themselves and act like those were their kids. Like, that's just freaking weird. It's gross to play pretend like
they
that.
Can see your kids in public and try to kidnap
another
them.
scary element of the internet and why children should be protected at all costs. But I guess we will just have to see if more states follow in the footsteps of Illinois. I certainly want to know what you guys think about.
Like she said, this is a step in the right direction, but consent is a huge thing. These kids are not agreeing to be on camera all the goddamn time. A camera shoved in their face, exposing their personal business. That is not right. I don't think that this should be legal at all. It should be banned completely, in my personal opinion, because you are showing these children like in super embarrassing moments sometimes. And that's affecting their personal lives. When they're going out into the real world, people are like, oh, hi, I saw that video where you pissing on yourself. Oh, I saw that video where you got in trouble. You was looking stupid, snot, rolling down your fucking nose. Like, that shit is not cool. This really pisses me off because these parents are so selfish. And they get all this money and they buying all this, extravagant shit, all this luxury shit, purses and shit, cars, houses, just for your own selfish gain while you're exploiting your child and shoving a camera in their face every day. Like, think about how that's affecting their mental. That pisses me off. Protect the children. I don't like this. And I know I have this ongoing joke that I lean into, that I have this strong aversion to children. I actually don't. I've even said on this channel a couple times that y'all don't be surprised if I pop out with a kid one day. Like, I play a lot. I'm very unserious on this channel. I tell you all the time, don't take me seriously, okay? There are many ongoing jokes and trolls that I lean into for the entertainment of this channel. For me, hating kids to, my hate for Taylor Swift and how she's on crack. That's my favorite one. To how I never fail any of my try not to laughs. Like, I have a lot. The list goes on, all right? Some are a lot more obvious than others, but if you watch me for a while, you should be able to pick up on some of these. But yes, I definitely feel for children. I have a soft spot for them, and this really pisses me off. I think this is fucked up that, channels get so popular doing this, and it's just them exploiting kids, and they have zero protection. So I hope over the years that it will change, and like I said, it just will outright be banned, because the children, they're not consenting to this, so they shouldn't be filmed without their consent, and they're too young to consent, so you just shouldn't film them at all. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about all this. Let me know what other videos you're gonna watch, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.